TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Abigail Lukmade, and this is Africa Now. Nearly 30 years after the end of apartheid, South Africa is still the most unequal country in the world, with race playing a determining factor in a society where 10% of the population owns more than 80% of the wealth, a World Bank report said on Wednesday. Gender and the uneven distribution of agricultural land are factors driving inequality, especially in rural areas. The country's neighbors, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, and Namibia, all finish high on the list of the most unequal countries in the world. A senior United Nations Libya official is seeking agreement on election laws and constitutional arrangements with rival factions, locked in a dangerous standoff to take place before Ramadan, which is expected to start on April 1. Libya faces a political crisis after the parliament last week swore in a new government, with the incumbent administration refusing to cede power amid the fallout from a failed attempt to hold national elections in December. As Tunisia's president prepares to rewrite the constitution after dismissing parliament last year and ruling by decree, he has called for citizens' input by setting up a voluntary multiple-choice questionnaire online. With 2 weeks to go before the survey is due to end, only 276,000 people have been part in the country of 12 million, according to the survey website, amidst accusation by Kais Said's critic that the consultation is a charade. Now, global watchdog Human Rights Watch has called for the release of a clergyman and a university professor in South Sudan, both detained since last year, for criticizing the government. Abraham Chol Aket and Kuel Agwe Akwel have been accused of sabotage and undermining South Sudan's constitution. They face the death penalty or life imprisonment if convicted, their lawyers say. An inquiry committee set up by the National Electoral Board of Ethiopia has confirmed that the chairman of the opposition, Oromo Liberation Front, Dawood Ibsa, has been under arrest since May of 2021. Dawood's residence is guarded by plainclothes security agents who prevent visits to the chairman, local media reports. The board, which described Dawood's arrest as unacceptable, is demanding Dawood's right to movement is respected and his immediate release. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. More stories coming your way after the break. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on the international community to lift sanctions against Zimbabwe, saying the restrictions were damaging the southern African nation. Speaking on Wednesday afternoon at State House in Nairobi during a joint press briefing with Zimbabwe counterpart Emmerson Mnangagwa, Kenyatta termed the sanctions as illegal, assuring Zimbabwe of Kenya's continued advocacy to ensure that the restrictions are lifted. The two countries signed 7 bilateral agreements of all memoranda of understanding on political and diplomatic consultations, tourism and wildlife conservation, and civil aircraft accidents and serious incident investigations. Google has partnered with Mali's traditional leaders to digitize tens of thousands of ancient manuscripts from the city of Timbuktu. The manuscripts have been endangered due to political unrest in the country's north, which in 2013 saw Islamist rebels set fire to 2 libraries in Timbuktu. Up to 40,000 pages of the document will be available online. Now on matters of animal conservation. Kenya has released the first group of mountain bongos into a sanctuary to save the rare forest antelopes from extinction in the wild. The group of 5 mountain bongos, including 2 males, have been released to a sanctuary located near Mount Kenya. Kenya is the last place where the species are still found in their native habitat. Fewer than 100 are thought to be in existence. A critically endangered species of bat not sighted in 40 years have been found in Rwanda, with an incredible discovery delighting conservationists who have feared it was already extinct. The consortium, which made the discovery, led by Bat Conservation International, first found the pair of Hill's horseshoe bats in a cave in 2019, but took 3 years to verify it was the species. Ngwonyi Park rangers have now installed detectors which eavesdrops on the nightly flights of the bats. And in sports, elections to appoint a new president of Ivory Coast Football Federation have been postponed once again, meaning former Chelsea striker DJ Drogba must wait yet further before finding out if he can stand. Ongoing issues over the eligibility of candidates have caused an 18-month delay to proceedings with the polls originally earmarked for September 2020. The latest polls were set to be held on 23rd March, but these have now been called off without a new date being set. And that is it on Africa Now. For more updates, to visit our website at www.TOS TVNetwork.com. Follow us and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember to subscribe on YouTube. To stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. I am Abigail Ukmade. Thanks for watching.